a friend of the channel sent me an email. It was a very nice email and a very nice question. And the question is essentially Secrets of Strixhaven, Japanese, full super specialty fudge coated mystical archive silver scroll foil. Are they going to go up in price? Is now a good time to buy? Because this is the thing. And I have a lot of sympathy for this research that this guy did and the hypothesis, which is that these cards are rare. You get maybe one in each collector booster box, and we're talking about the silver scroll, and then it's really hard to get the mythic ones and the rare ones, and there's more of the uncommon ones, but they're rare. And when you do the math, they might be rare, similar to serialized cards. Maybe not serialized cards like serialized cards in Secrets of Strixhaven, but if you were getting serialized cards in March of the Machines or some of these sets that had more serialized cards, it might be like that, or less. So I'm not representing exactly the thesis that Adam has, but I am expressing the question, which is, are these cards underpriced? Because if the market thinks they're more common than they are, then potentially the prices are lower than they should be. People are trying to dump, right? People are opening their items. They're getting these cards and they're saying like, ooh, this is worth good money. Time to sell. When the reality is the price might go up. It might go up, up, up. And so I've actually got a nice kind of history of expensive Magic cards that I want to walk through with y'all, because there's a lot to learn here and there's a lot going on. And I've been in this game for a hot minute. You know, so many people, it surprises me, but it shouldn't surprise me. How many people are new, right? How many people joined the game with Final Fantasy or with Spider-Man or with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Welcome to the game. Hope you're enjoying playing it. I hope you're enjoying buying it and collecting it. And I hope you're enjoying maybe getting into selling it, because selling is fun too. I honestly love my relationship with Magic the Gathering, that involves a lot of buying as well as selling. And it's great. It feeds the hobby. I just sold, you know what used to be in here? A Commander deck. I listed all the cards today because I realized that I'm not a big fan of the play pattern in Commander where you have a fetch land that you crack every turn. It slows the game down. That's just me. So selling a lot of the cards. Anyways, okay, what was I saying? Right, so let's go through the history of these cards, because I've been around. I've been around for a hot minute, and I have experienced, so I really got into the game in around 2011 when I think Scars of Mirrodin was the premiere set, or maybe Mirrodin Besieged. I got into the game. My friend bought me a starter deck for Mirrodin Besieged, and that was my very first deck. It was the Izzet one, the red-blue one, and it was pretty cool. I played that deck against friends who had been playing for many, many years, and they kicked my butt, but I still kept playing. And that's like my relationship with Magic. It can kick my butt, but I'm still going to keep playing, whether it's the financial side or the game side. No, I've made good money with Magic. Anyways, point being, so I've been around. I've seen the rise of collectibility. Back in 2011, there was no such thing as collector boosters. There was no such thing as extended art cards. You know what the rarest, coolest thing you could get back then was? It was a foil. I guess they did have promos and things like that. They had special promos for special events. But besides that, the coolest thing you could get was a foil mythic that you'd open up in your regular draft booster box. That was it. That was as good as it gets. And so I have lived through and been slightly engaged with, if not slightly very engaged with, this entire transition of Wizards from, hey, we just print, if you get lucky, 1 out of 2 or 3 booster boxes will have one mythic that's in foil, and it's probably no good, but it's still worth money because that's how rare they are, to today where foil in every pack, that kills me. I hate that. Personally, foil in every pack. Maybe new people like it. Like, let me know in the comments if you're like, actually, when I got started in the game, a foil in every pack really did it for me. And that will warm my heart, and that'll help my heart grow 3 sizes bigger or something like that. But man, as somebody where, back in my day when foils used to mean something, they used to be rare, they used to be valuable. And now foil commons and commons are worth less not worthless, but worth less than their non-foil counterparts often on TCG Player, because they come in these collector booster packs. Then, the people don't buy the collector booster packs for the foil commons, uncommons. Why are the commons, uncommons foil in the collector booster packs? Right. Okay. Calming down. So let's dive in. First example is from one of my favorite eras. And by favorite, I mean, this was a chaotic time for Magic the Gathering, which were the special mythic editions that came out. Do you remember these? This was back in 2019. Man, these are crazy. So story time. Wizards of the Coast was like, hey, we're going to sell these super special. Can I pull it up here? Yeah, check this out. What the heck? Do you see that? I clicked on a Magic thing and then it just popped up with booster box play case. Mythic edition War of the Spark. Okay. So back in the day, it's crazy. Oh my gosh, I want to buy one of these right now. So back in the day, Wizards, like I said, there were not extended arts. There were not specialty foils. I think maybe Ultimate Masters had come out at this point. And so those, I guess there were like barely some extended arts. But this pack, this War of the Spark Mythic Edition, it had guaranteed these cards. It had a guaranteed specialty foil, Tezzeret the Seeker and Ugin the Spirit Dragon and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Holy crap. And this was already kind of close to the time where Jace the Mind Sculptor was kind of beginning to fall out of modern fame. But it was there. The Nicol Bolas Dragon God from the brand new set. These were all, not all of them. I mean, back then, Gideon Blackblade was not an exciting card, but, or Nahiri the Harbinger, but for, at least Ugin and Jace were very exciting cards. And so, what happened? Well, they sold these on eBay and you were limited 2 per person and they sold for $250. And wow, I remember exactly where I was, exactly where I was sitting with exactly my laptop up and just trying so hard to buy 2 of these. And so, money was tight at the time, but I was pretty confident I could flip them. And yes, in case you didn't know, I am a dirty, evil scalper, evil flipper. And so I bought 2 of these and I managed to buy that. What was crazy was that there's some glitch on eBay. These oversold. As you can see here, War of the Spark Mythic Edition will be limited to 12,000 units. Only 12,000 of these exist, guys. They're rare. So they're expensive. That's a joke. This is called, artificial scarcity, and it's totally fake. I mean, I can sign my phone case and say it's one of one, right? And that's a ridiculous example, but this isn't too different, right? When you print something and you say there's only 12,000, there'll only be 12,000 of these ever. It's like, okay, well, are there even 12,000 people that want it? Well, apparently not for $320. Anyways, these sold back in 2019 for $250, and I bought 2. And I sold them almost immediately for $800 each. Actually, I think I opened one. I think I sold one sealed for $800, and then I opened one and I sold these cards. And I sold this Jace for over $100. I remember selling Nicol Bolas Dragon God for $80. Ugin was, I'm sure, over $100. And what do you know? Jace today, $46. All these cards, way less. Even the whole box, the Wars of the Spark Mythic Edition, $320 for this box, which I like. Wow. Side disclaimer, this video is going to be awful for me to make because there's so many cool things that I'm tempted to spend money on. And like I said, I'm just selling one of my commander decks. So my brain is like, oh, you deserve it. You should buy something. You're selling $400 of cards. You deserve a Mythic Edition. Anyways, so I'll be dealing with that throughout the course of this video. And apparently it's going to be a long one. So these cards did not hold up. Now, nobody was speccing into these cards. There's a big difference between these and the Japanese alternate art Silver Scroll foils. There is. But I'm not talking about the Japanese Secrets of Strixhaven Mystical Archive foils yet. I'm just going through a history of collectability and also pointing out how fickle it is. Right? Because people thought these cards were worth hundreds of dollars back then. They were worth that much because people were willing to pay that much. But today, they're obviously a fraction of the price. A lot of that is because these cards just aren't even really playable. They're not really valuable. I mean, this Tezzeret the Seeker is more expensive than Jace the Mind Sculptor, which speaks to just how playability drives Magic, which of course it does. Interesting. I pulled up Jace the Mind Sculptor as a good example. This sold for hundreds of dollars. I think there was copies of this card selling for $200+ at the time. And of course now it's $46. What's interesting though is there's other Jace the Mind Sculptors. Like check out this, the Bloomborough raised foil for $420. And this actually is the most expensive Jace the Mind Sculptor there is. And this is a relatively new card. But this is another interesting phenomenon, which is this was the coolest version of Jace for a hot second. Now this is the coolest version of Jace, right? There is risk. There's risk built in to these singles. While I'm thinking about it, let's compare, because let me teach you an econ word. Econ time. Okay. Opportunity cost. Many people are very familiar with this word, and you can kind of smile to yourself that you already know what I'm going to say and that you're smart. And for everyone else, you're also smart, but you're going to be a little bit smarter as I talk about opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a concept that describes how whenever you do something, there's a trade-off. And people will describe it as, if you choose A, if A is the best choice, you're giving up B. B is the second best choice. And so you can think of your opportunity cost as whatever you're giving up to do the choice that you're making, your next best alternative. So the opportunity cost for me to eat at, Taco Bell is my money and whatever I would have had instead. So yes, I am the best off, my happiest version, my truest self eats at Taco Bell, but there's another version of myself that doesn't eat at Taco Bell, and they retain their opportunity cost, which would have been the money, the like $11. Oh, geez. And healthier or something, and they would have eaten something else. So that's the idea. That's the idea for opportunity cost. Okay, great. Okay, now back to the video. So there's an opportunity cost with buying any Magic card, and it is a different Magic card or a different Magic product. And I think in general, when we talk about speculating on singles, the opportunity cost is sealed. Let's take a look at this beautiful spreadsheet I made with the help of viewers like you. And here we get collector booster boxes from year to year and what you could have bought them for at MSRP or retail prices, and then what their prices are on TCG Player right now, what you could sell them for after shipping and fees, what you would make, what you'd net out, and then there's a percent gain, right? So if you bought Strixhaven collector booster boxes, not the new ones, but the original ones back in 2021, you could have bought those for $225 each. They sell today for $641. After shipping and fees, you net something like $532. Well, you bought these for $225. So if you bought them in 2021 and held on to them until 2026, that is a 45% annual return. Every year this isn't exactly right, but you could tell yourself that on average, every year you are gaining 45%. Now, the reality for these Strixhaven collector booster boxes is that they were flat for the longest time until Secrets of Strixhaven came up, and then they shot up. People got really excited about them. So it's certainly not true about Magic products, whether it's singles or sealed or whatever, that if you're going to buy it to hold on to as some kind of speculative investment, that they go up linearly, right? Usually there's some catalyst that shoots the price up. So what is the opportunity cost for buying singles? Well, it's buying sealed. And buying sealed collector booster boxes have a high opportunity cost, especially these recent years. Like 2024, we're looking at a 44% return year over year. 2025, like less than a year ago for most of these sets, 23% return, 24% return. 2026 has been a banger already with Strixhaven boxes. If you're pre-ordering from the right sources, and by right sources, I usually mean Patreon paywalled sources, but there's also, I could buy Strixhaven collector booster boxes for a while from stores for just $325 pre-ordered, and those did get fulfilled. Huzzah! So, anyways, and then obviously they're selling for, I guess just $480 right now. That's a lot. So, anyways, okay, the opportunity cost is high. That's just what I'm saying. Yes, you can buy singles. Yes, you can speculate on this stuff, but the opportunity cost, like, are we beating collector booster boxes? It is maybe beating collector booster boxes What about the Ristic Study, Anime Borderless Confetti Foil, Wilds of Eldraine, Enchanting Tales? This is a cool card. This is a very cool card. This is a cool card that has sold recently for as much as $1,000. But right now, the cheapest listing is $2,000. And there's only one page of these things. Holy crap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just 7 of these. Wonder what it goes for on eBay. We're not going to check, but you should check. There's a lot of cards that are way cheaper on eBay than they are on TCG Player. And eBay has the added benefit of having an authenticity guarantee for any card over $300. So buying this card on eBay is probably just a better deal all around. Whoops. So, what's the point? What's the point of this, looking at these Enchanted Tales? Well, this is closer to what the Strixhaven Mystical Archives are, right? It's these kind of specialty foil, rare, with an artwork style. Now, these artwork styles are anime. Anime is popular, but these artwork styles are Japanese, and Japanese is also popular. We see, for example, the Japanese lands from Neon Dynasty, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, have performed quite well. These are cool. These are cool cards. Anyway, sorry, back to Wilds of Eldraine. This Ristic Study's gone up in value. So has this Smothering Tithe. I think a lot, if not all of these, have gone up in price. And that is interesting. What is going on? Well, and I should say a lot of them have gone up in price. The Anime Borderless Confetti Foil have gone up in price. I think just the anime ones have too. Maybe not. Parallel Lives for $40. That seems like a fair price. I'm not, I'm a card historian, but not the master of all. So I can't tell you the details for all these, but I can tell you that Ristic Study, Smothering Tithe, Necropotence, these cards are more expensive now than they were a year ago. I mean, this looks kind of sus, kind of dramatic. These prices have shot up more recently too. Very interesting. Anyway, so maybe it is a good buy, right? Maybe buying the Secrets of Strixhaven, not Enchanting Tales, what are they called? The Silver Scroll Foil, Japanese Alternate Art, Mystical Archives. Maybe this is a low, and maybe these are going to go up, up, up. It's hard to tell. But it at least has been the case with Wilds of Eldraine that it hasn't just gone up, up, up. I mean, slowly but surely. We're looking at, I don't know if anyone's going to buy these for $2,000, but we're looking at $700 a year ago and then $900. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good return. That definitely is the return of higher end collector booster boxes. And so it's real. I'm not saying it's never happened. Singles have performed well. Obviously, lots of singles have performed very well. It's just interesting. Let's take a look at another product. How about serialized cards? What about serialized Overgrown Tomb? I pick on this because actually this was an insight from Rudy, little Rudy shout out, not a sponsor. He doesn't sponsor me. Is that the Shocklands in the Ravnica Remastered, in their kind of old border with the shooting star across it, these serialized cards, how are they ever going to make a cooler version of Overgrown Tomb as a serialized card? Now I say that, and like people might have said, like, how are they ever going to make a cooler version of Jason the Mind Sculptor? Well, what you do is you put him as a fox. So, I could be one-upped, or Rudy and I could be wrong, but this is kind of like the peak. They're taking the original art, they're doing an old border with the shooting star, serialized. This is as cool as Shocklands can get. And what's interesting about these, and on this price chart, is the price is not just going up. Now, this is just in the past few months. I don't know if this even matters. I don't know. Last 6 months? Can we do more? Last 3 years? Excuse me? Yes, please. You're experiencing it live, folks. So yeah, $400. Oh, this might be a good example that kind of vindicates the buying Secrets of Strixhaven Japanese foil thesis. So yeah, look at this. Started at 400-ish bucks, and then some successful, auctions or something like that. But now they're selling for $1,000+ bucks, and they have sold for that much recently. Wild. Really wild. What I'm curious about actually is Cleopatra serialized MTG. I love the Assassin's Creed set. It is so cool. Yep, similar thing. And so we see some prices go up. Not, oh wait, is this just 6 months? No, this lasts 3 years. Yeah, not too quickly, but a card that was, I remember at release, I remember people buying these and selling these on Facebook not marketplace, but on Facebook groups for $700 or whatever. And then now $2,000 sales, confirmed sales on eBay. Interesting. Oh, this is PSA 10. Wow. Pretty cool. So anyways, what's the point? The point is that I guess we're seeing some appreciation. We're seeing some appreciation of these serialized singles. You know, as we go further and further in this video, this is kind of convincing me that this guy has a good idea, but let's keep going. Let's talk about expeditions. Let's talk about the specialty foils that came out in what did this? It was Zendikar Rising or Battle for Zendikar. Battle for Zendikar is what it was. This Godless Shrine, I bought a copy of it like 5-6 years ago for $120. It's now $80. This card has gone down in price. Well, I guess apparently not in the past. Oh yeah, well it went even further down, and now it's rebounding somewhat. Damage, moderately played. Oh, you know what? I've got a near mint, so it's like 120. So that's pretty close to what I bought it for. But you know, the kind of go down, go up. Very playable cards, but not. It's not just like they go up. It's very interesting. It's interesting to see what versions of cards stick the landing that are expensive for the long run, like these borderless Galaxy Foil Infinity Shocklands. Let's look at 1 year of these guys. Yeah, it's gone up. Crazy. And there's multiple pages of these too. So what's the point? It's interesting. It's interesting to me to see that sometimes these specialty treatments don't perform well. What about something like the Masterpiece series from Amonkhet? This is another where, so, and I guess the history, I was saying I was going to go through the history. The history of these for both these Zendikar Expeditions and these Masterpiece series Amonkhet Invocations was that they were included in random draft booster packs. So Wizards had figured out, they're like, okay, we want to include specialty full art foil shenanigans. How do we do it? And let's just throw them randomly into, like, if you buy 6 booster boxes, you'll open up one of these or something like that. And so back in the day, you know, now these Amonkhet Invocations were always talked poorly because you can't read them. you can't read them. And so that kind of makes it hard to justify spending your hard-earned cash on them. But you know what other cards you can't read? Japanese. No, I'm just kidding. So, but it's what's interesting here, I'm going to keep saying interesting, are the prices of the most expensive copies of something like Dark Ritual, where the Secret Lair drop series is outperforming a Amonkhet Invocation. And this, you know, Japanese alternate art foil etched copy from the original Mystical Archives is underperforming the Amonkhet Invocation. So it's just a lot, isn't it? I mean, there's so many ways these prices can go. Some go up, some go down, obviously. Let's talk about another one. What about Encore Electromancer? This was a bonus card in a Secret Lair that you could get, and it was extremely rare. I opened, I think it was just 10. Might have been more. Oh, it might have been like 20 of these Secret Lairs searching for this card. Did not open it, which was too bad. If I did open it, I would have sold it immediately. And what I would have sold it for was, like, I think they were selling back in the day for like $800, but they're more expensive now. They've gone up in price, and they have confirmed sales at this gone up price. Crazy. Look at this. Someone's got a picture. Oh, it's a good picture too. Absolutely wild. Snapcaster Mage is not really a playable card in any format anymore, but this special Atsume Miku art gets it there. And like I said, the price has gone up. This is scarce. If my friend Adam, if his hypothesis about these Japanese Silver Scroll foils is true, that these are much more rare than we think they are, the price will go up. So that's where we're at. How common are these? If you're like my friend Adam, you think that these are pretty rare, pretty scarce. And if that's true, there's a lot of situations where these sell. These sell quickly. Wow. Yep. Dozens of these selling a day. For these deflated prices, these prices are deflated because sellers, people are opening up their packs, they're getting excited, they want to get their value immediately, and so they're going to sell these cards. Now, if they're much more common, if there's way more Secrets of Strixhaven collector booster boxes than we think there are, then obviously it could go a different direction. I mean, if the supply just keeps on and on and on, these sellers will compete against each other and drive the price into the ground. I mean, we've already seen some of that, right? Sellers were listing this Jessica's Will for a clean $600, drop into 400, drop into 300, and now we're closer to 400 than 300, but it's a competition. I mean, all TCG player sellers are, when you're selling this high-end stuff, you really are just competing or gambling on, you know, how many of these are going to sell, how many people are going to list one the next day, right? So this person selling for 380, they do not think the price is going up. This person thinks the price is going to go down, and they want to get sold and get out of there. While the person, you know, over here who has it listed for $500, they're thinking, you know, these things are limited, they're going to sell out, I'm keeping mine at a high price. It's very, very complicated. A lot going on here, and it's hard to make heads or tails of it. So, what is my consensus? The problem for me with all of these special Silver Scroll foil, Japanese alternate arts, is the opportunity cost. That is what I just cannot get over, because check this out. Look at this revised Tropical Island. I mean, this is in good condition. This is a good looking card. Authenticity guarantee from eBay. This would just look sleek, sleeved in my commander deck. Like, whew. Am I right? So that's the struggle for me. Or frankly, get one of these and put it on the shelf behind me. Oh my gosh, that'd be sick. Right next to my collector booster boxes that are all worth more than one of these. You know, so that's the thing for me. Now, I'm not thinking of that as like an investment play, though. I don't really think that Tropical Islands, I do think, will go up in value in the next 5-10 years. But I wouldn't be buying it as an investment as much as it is part of my collection, part of something to play with. These could go up in value. I could totally be, I think my risk tolerance, I'm not going to buy these. I'm not going to speculate on these. For me, I've just lived through way too many War of the Spark Mythic editions, way too many just oddities that I don't understand, like the Enchanting Tales going up in value, or Jace the Mind Sculptor and a raised foil going up in value. It's hard for me to understand what dictates the price of cards. There's some headwinds here too. I mean, it's not just all good. I mean, this art is incredible, but it is in Japanese, and Americans don't know Japanese. And so it's like, I don't know what to tell you. And so there's a headwind against people wanting to buy and own these. Although obviously people do want to buy and own these. I mean, let's see how many of these Silver Scroll Force of Wills have sold. Jeez. Just like half a dozen people every day spending $1,000 on these. Crazy. So it might be a good play. I've seen stuff go up. We together watched as we've seen serialized cards go up. We've seen Enchanting Tales go up. We have seen some copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor go up while others go down. There's obviously opportunity and potential here. to buy and hold on to these cards as speculative investments is see the value go up and you to be rewarded for your risk taking and for your patience. That is totally possible. In fact, if I had a wager on it, I'd say it's like likely. Like I'd say it's like 70% likely that these go up in the near to long term. However, I'm not going to participate in that. I'm not going to put my money in this game, which, so it's like, how much is my word worth? Well, it's worth a lot from the perspective of not buying it. I certainly would not go and buy it on my account because I'm not doing the same. I make videos and sometimes I'm telling you what I'm buying and I am buying those things and I am doing exactly with it is what I say. And this is not one of those times because I'm not buying it. I'm not going to do it. There's just other things I'm interested in. I am interested in buying a dual land so that I can no longer say in my videos that I don't own a revised dual land. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Y'all are the best. Thanks for being here. Bye, 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 bye.